So today I want us to look at sequences, and we'll start by just defining it. So sequences is just an ordered set of numbers. An ordered set of numbers. Basically, the way it works, it's governed by rules. So if you look at these numbers, we have 4, and then 6, and then 8, then 10. You notice that for you to move from one number to another, you're actually adding 2. From 4, you're adding 2 to get 6, then you add 2 to get 8, and then you're adding 2 to get 10. So every number in a sequence is actually called a term. So number 4 is actually first term. So this is the first term. Number 6 is actually the second term. Number 8, third term. And number 10 is the fourth term. So this is the fourth term. So the other thing you need to note in sequences is that the difference between the second term and the first term is what we call the common difference. The difference between the second term and the first term is what we call the common difference. So in our case here, we have 6 minus 4, which is just 2. So the common difference is actually 2. You'll notice that if you do the same for 8 minus 6, you still get 2. And even when you do 10 minus 8, you still get 2. So that's why it's the difference, but because it's common, that's why it's called common difference. Okay, so we have, so most of the questions you are being asked in sequences is just to find the term-to-term rule. So for that one, all you need to do is to know the first term, the second term, the third term, and then you just make an observation. If you're moving from first term to the second term, what is happening? So in this case, for example, the term-to-term rule of this sequence is actually adding 2, because you're moving from 4 to 6, and 6 to 8, and 8 to 10, you're just adding 2. So that's what we call term-to-term rule. So if you have another sequence where you're starting with 3, and then you're getting to 6, and then you're getting to 9, and then you're getting to 12, you'll notice that for this new sequence, you're actually adding, so the term-to-term rule here, you're adding 3. Great. So that is all about term-to-term rule. So if you have been asked to find the nth term, so the nth term, the main idea is because if you're asked to find the next term here for the first sequence, you will quickly notice that it's very easy to find the next term, because you're just adding 2. But imagine if you are being asked to find the 100th term or the 50th term. You'll do a lot of paperwork. So the idea of nth term is to just come up with a rule that will enable you to quickly input the values of the 50th term or the 100th term, and you quickly figure out the answer for that term. So we have at least 3 rules that help us to find the nth term. So rule number 1, all you need to do is to find the common difference. And we have said for you to find common difference, all you need to do is subtract the second term and the first term. After you've gotten that, you multiply it by n. By the way, n here just represents number of terms. So you multiply it by n, Once you've done that, you look for the number, you look for the term before the first term. Look for the term before the first term. Then you combine whatever you will get. So for example, in this sequence that we have here for 3, 6, 9, and 12, if you are to find the nth term, so it's 3, then 6, then 9, then 12. So the first thing we do is to find the common difference, which is 6 minus 3, which is just 3. Then I multiply by n, and then I look for the number before the first term, which is just 0, so it will be plus 0. So 3n is the nth term for this sequence. So if I want to find the 100th term, so all I need to do is just multiply 3 times 100. That will give me 300. So the value of the 100th term in this sequence is actually 300. So we can try another one. If you have 5, and then 7, and then 9, and then 11. So the first thing we do is to find the common difference. So you just take 7 minus 5, which is 2. And then you multiply by n, so that will be 2 times n. And then we look for the number before the first term, which gives us 3. So it will be plus 3. So it will be 2n plus 3. So let's look at one last more. So if you have 20, and then 15, and then 10, so you have this sequence. So you want to find the nth term of this sequence. All you need to do is to take the second term and subtract the first term. It's very important that you take note that we take the second term and we subtract the first term. So that will be 15 minus 20, which gives you -5. And then after that you do -5 multiplied by n, and then you look for the number just before the first term. In this case it will be 25. So it will be -5n plus 25. So your nth term here will be -5n plus 25. So that is all about finding the nth term of a sequence.